Good morning. Well, it's lovely to see you again. I know I said I was only going to be doing 3 stories about Christmas, but another one crossed my mind. So here I am, having my breakfast with my first thing, my cup of coffee, and I thought I'd tell you a story that I'd forgotten from the Christmas story kind of compendium of stories. It's a big word, isn't it, for a morning? It's compendium. Anyway, it's all about waiting. I wonder, are you one of these people who can wait? Or are you someone who kind of rushes to the end? I had a new book for Christmas by David Walliams. Other authors are available. Codename Bananas, which I think is quite appropriate when you think of me. And, you know, it would be a bit boring just to start at the start, wouldn't it? And read every single page. Maybe I should just look at the end, really, and see if it's got a happy ending, do you think? Maybe I should just read the back pages first and just have a look rather than waiting. Some people actually do that, you know, I would never do that. Or an advent calendar. We've been doing a lot of waiting recently, haven't we? I bet you've had your advent calendars, you've been opening all the days. 1, then 2, then 3. I'm going to do something now that's going to shock you. Imagine if I found the last day, and instead of starting here at number 1, I opened it. Already I can see parents are screaming, "Don't do it, Craig!" And then I burst the chocolate. I burst the chocolate, and there it is, the last one. Oh my gosh, I finished the advent calendar. And I shouldn't have finished it. How horrible would that be? I didn't really think this through during the story, because now I've got to eat the chocolate really quick while we're all waiting. Waiting for me to finish waiting. Delicious. Waiting. Waiting can be really hard. Do you know in Luke's Gospel, it's the only book in the Bible where this story is mentioned. There was a character called Simeon. And this story takes place in between the shepherds and the wise men. In fact, it records in the Bible, it takes place 8 days after the shepherds appear. You see, it was time for Jesus to be named, so they took him to the priests and they named him Jesus. And then it was time to take Jesus, because he was the firstborn male child that Mary had. They had to take him to the temple in Jerusalem and present him to the temple. So they travelled all the way to the temple. And there, in Jerusalem, was a man called Simeon. Now, Simeon was amazing, because Simeon had waited all his life to meet the Saviour of the world, to meet the Messiah, to finally meet God's salvation plan for mankind. And God had promised Simeon that he would not die until he saw the Saviour. Well, that day, as Mary and Joseph were travelling to the temple, God told Simeon, today's the day. Go to the temple, you'll meet the Saviour. So Simeon, you can imagine Simeon travelling to the temple, Mary and Joseph travelling to the temple with the baby Jesus, and eventually they meet there. Simeon looks across and he sees this baby, and God says to him, this is the one, this is the one, this is the baby. Simeon takes the baby in his arms, and he says some amazing things. One of the things he said was that, do you know what? I can finally die in peace, because I've actually seen the salvation. I've seen the Saviour of the world. I'm happy now. He told Mary and Joseph lots of things that Jesus was going to do. We call it prophecy. It's when God tells someone to tell someone else a message on his behalf. And he did that. He told them all about the sort of things that Jesus would be doing and how important he was to the world. And then, as well as Simeon, a lady called Anna was there. And she was a prophet as well, a prophetess actually. And she came across and she saw what Simeon saw. She realised that this baby was the Saviour of the world. And she starts praising God. She starts going on to all the people in the temple who have been waiting for all that time, waiting for the Messiah to come. She starts telling them that he was there. The Messiah had arrived. What an amazing story. Mary and Joseph were so proud of their baby boy Jesus. They travelled back that day, back to Nazareth, which is in Galilee. And the Bible records that after that time, Jesus grew up strong and healthy, full of God's wisdom. And people were already starting to talk back in that temple in Jerusalem that the Messiah had come. Well, while we've been doing this, I've been waiting for my coffee to cool, so I'm going to have that in a moment. But I wonder, how long have you been waiting for God to appear in your life? How long have you been waiting to meet Jesus? Can I just say this morning, that this morning, it's just like you came onto this meeting, onto this online thing, and Jesus came onto this online thing, and this morning could very, very well be the morning that your wait comes to an end. That this morning you can actually finally meet him. Okay? And that, I promise, is now the end of the Christmas stories. See you next week, guys. Bye.